childhood obesity has gone into epidemic proportions in the recent past. However, it has been a neglected public health problem, although the incidences have increased by about 50% over the last 25 to 30 years in many parts of the world. It is not actually a disease confined only to the high-income countries, but also it is prevalent in the lower and lower middle-income countries. Although incidence is much higher in the high-income countries, the lower middle-income countries has a large number of cases seen today all over the world. Now, although certain countries have low prevalence rates, now for example in Sri Lanka also, it has been shown that the prevalence rates of overweight among children, whether it's boys or girls, to be less than 2.5%. However, in area-wise, as well as due to different socioeconomic groups, the prevalences could be as high as 15 to 20% when overweight and obesity are put together. So the incidence of overweight and obesity in children are rising all over the world, which is actually a significant precursor to the development of non-communicable diseases later in life. Even in countries like Sri Lanka, data have shown that the incidence has been rising gradually over the period of time. Now, looking at childhood obesity, why we should be concerned? It actually gives rise to many illnesses ranging from head to toe. Now, when we look at the effects of obesity on the individual, one of the main problems is the psychological impact it causes on the individual. Then apart from that, it can cause a lot of physical ailments ranging from head to toe of the individual child. Then apart from that, it can cause a lot of metabolic complications, and the more important thing is it will give the rise to adult obesity. More than 75% of obese children end up being obese adults, whereas less than 10 lean children will end up as obese adults. So you can see the impact how it goes on from younger age into adulthood. Now, when we look at the metabolic problems, one of the main problems that occurs with obesity is development of insulin resistance, high blood pressure, as well as dyslipidemia. These will together lead to the development of metabolic syndrome in the individual. That in turn can cause cardiovascular diseases as well as diabetes mellitus later in life. Not only that, even some people call the metabolic syndrome of the liver, where they develop non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which progress to non-alcoholic steatohepatitis and cirrhosis even later in life. So you can see the ranging and the importance of childhood obesity in the long run. And most of these metabolic, even if the metabolic syndrome per se is not prevalent in higher numbers in children, but overall it is about 20% prevalence among obese individuals. Individual metabolic abnormalities can be seen in children as young as 5 years of age. So they keep on gradually accumulating over the period of time, and then as young adults they may have full-blown metabolic syndromes. Now, what is the main reason for the children to become obese? Of course, it is actually a mismatch between a transgenerational factor, where the child may be born small with an undernutrition state, which will ultimately progress into overnutrition state by overfeeding, contributed also by sedentary behavior practices. So these together will lead a child to become obese, of course in the background of the genetic predisposition and the obesogenic environment.